Good evening. Welcome to another ill-conceived episode of Diatribes from the voice of doom. Now here's your illogical and illusionary host, voice of doom. Sorry. Long night. I wasn't going to do a diatribe again because I already talked about the election. I don't want to talk about it right this minute. More things to say, but I was talking to my kid and he said, don't do so many diatribes because they're all getting lost in the algorithms somewhere. And he said I should only do like 2 or 3 a week. But I can't because things keep cropping up. Like today, for instance, I didn't make much money at work, but I made enough to go and squander it at the casino. And who should I see at the blackjack table but Woody Winehouse. Now, I was kind of perplexed because the elections were yesterday and he was running for Congress and on the East Coast, and suddenly he's in Carson City, so I didn't think it boded well for him that he would be there with a double crown on the rocks at the blackjack table. But we got to talking, and even though he's a D and a wokester and is out of his mind, I still kind of can talk to him. We can reach a kind of a rapprochement, you might say, where we disagree on basic things like, whether or not the world's coming to an end, or whether or not the Democrats have, brought us to the abyss, and things of that nature, and just kind of joke around and talk. So since he seemed to have nothing else to do and he was already kind of 3 sheets, I figured I'd ask him to come back to talk about what happened in the election from his perspective. So even though we're on opposite polar sides of the politics, I will allow Woody Winehouse to come and state his pickle or dilemma. So I'll bring him on and we'll be right back. Hello, I'm Woody Winehouse, and I'm glad to be back at the Voice of Doom's house, because this is the only platform that is interested in letting me state my piece. Now, I was and am the former congressional delegate from the 3rd District of Delaware, and up until yesterday, I thought that my position was very secure. And yet, through some freak of nature, I don't know what happened, I have been ousted by my opponent, a gopper, a person who believes in fascism, Nazism, and will overthrow this government at the first chance he gets. And he beat me in Delaware. Now, I don't want to appear bitter. I don't want to appear like sour grapes, but I've looked at all the districts in all the areas within 1,000 square miles of where I'm at, and every single one was blue but mine. And I really don't understand it. I've towed the line, done everything I could to go along with our beloved president's dictates. I've worn masks. I haven't worn masks. I've worn 2 masks. I've gotten every kind of shot you can imagine injected into my body, and yet my opponent prevailed. And now I am 2 months away from going back to my old job of selling real estate, and I didn't do well. But I don't want to appear like I have any ill feelings toward my opponent. I just don't understand how I could have failed. I was in Delaware. I was in the same state as our beloved president, and he believed in me. He believed in everything I was doing. And the only thing I can come up with, as long as I'm conceding, is that I wasn't quite weird enough. I'm going to do better. I was too mainstream. You cannot be a true Democrat and be mainstream. You must have a stick. You must have some sort of a hook. And I tried to make this my hook, but it's boring. I'm sorry. I like women. I have the genitalia to be compatible with a woman. And I'm sorry about that. I wish I could have done better. And I will try. I may seek office again. And I'm hopeful for myself. I'm not going to wallow in self-pity when I realize that the world is wide open for me. All I have to do is create some sort of a way to be a victim, and then people will come to me in droves. So 2024 is around the corner, and there are other elections to be pursued, and I will change my image. You don't know who the hell I'm going to be, but it'll be interesting. And I'm sorry that I've been drinking all night with Voice of Doom, and I appreciate him even though we don't get along politically. And I know he kind of revels in my disgrace that I could be the only Democrat not elected to congressional office within 1,000 square miles of my area. It's embarrassing, and I will live it down. I will come back. I will come back in ways you cannot imagine. And hopefully it'll work out for me. But I'll give it back to Doom. I'm sorry if I'm not as flamboyant or ebullious, effervescent as I was last time, because I was looking forward to an easy romp by convincing my suburban housewives and other people that should fall into line that didn't this time. Thank you very much, people of color. And I forgot what I was going to say. So I'll give it back to Voice. And I'm going to go to the kitchen now because I'm feeling peckish. So thank you for listening to me. I'll see you at the next election. Thank you, Woody, for coming and pouring out your soul and putting your heart out on your sleeve about your humiliating loss. And I'm glad I could do something a little bit different for the news media to show a contrite D who lost against all odds. 3rd Congressional District of Delaware could not win in the blue column. It's embarrassing, but he's learning to live with it. He's kind of half asleep right now, but I'm sure he'll get up in the middle of the night and start eating whatever food I have in here. But I was glad to have Woody, and I'm glad to have another guest star, even though it's the same old people. Kind of like Johnny Carson. It's just the same old Buddy Hackett, whatever. So sorry, I'm a little 3 sheets too, because whenever I'm with Woody, I don't know why, but I drink heavily. And it just causes nothing but lethargy and incoherency. But I don't think Woody will be here tomorrow. He's got to catch an early flight back to Delaware to make his concession speech. They're still counting up the votes, but it's pretty sure that no matter how much they try to cheat, he's still going to lose. So we'll leave it there, and thanks for watching. And I don't want to do any more diatribes for a while because I'm saturating the internet and it's getting to be overexposure. So, thank you, and see you next time.